Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores, and I have some more updates today for y'all. What's going on with the Washington football team? What happened leading up to the trade deadline? We know nothing happened, but you'll be very interested in knowing what they tried to make happen before that trade deadline hit. Even though nothing came into fruition, it speaks loudly about how they feel about this team and where we need to improve. Also, I got to give y'all a Chase Roullier update and a Logan Thomas update in a way. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. Also, some random stats. Jaylon Smith is available if we wanted to go get him. I'm going to talk about all of that and more. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get a notification immediately. And every time I release an informative and opinionated video just like this one. Also, make sure you check out the rest of the channel. All of my videos are organized in playlists. I even have a comedy playlist for all of my funny videos. And I'm working on some draft content for y'all right now. So stay tuned for all of that. But without further ado, let's dive into everything. Let's get it. All right, first of all, we're going to start with the injury updates. Washington center Chase Roullier sadly was placed on IR today officially. He will undergo surgery to repair his fractured fibula, and it's basically expected that the surrounding tissues were damaged as well. So he's pretty much gone for the season. They're going to get a second opinion to confirm, but it's not looking too good for Chase Roullier. And at the very least, like literally the best of best case scenarios, we won't have him for the next 4 weeks anyway. But it's looking like he's pretty much done for season, and we may need to even worry about him as far as his health goes going into next offseason. But at the same time, placing Chase Roullier on the IR, that allowed us to move rookie safety Darrick Forrest up to the 53-man roster, so he'll finally probably get some playing time starting in this Bucs game, and definitely, probably seeing more and more of them as the season goes on, especially depending on the situation of our season. Like, if we just look like there's no chance of us winning the division, you might as well start to see what the younger guys can do. So expect to see quite a bit of Darrick Forrest at some point later in this season. Maybe not as soon as the Buccaneers, but who knows? He's being activated to the 53-man roster, so maybe we'll see him a little bit. At the very least, special teams. He was brought here to be a special teams type of guy, and whatever he gives on the field on the defensive side is a bonus. And then also, Washington released tight end Jay Sternberger, the tight end we picked up a few weeks ago. We never used him, but we had him just in case as a reserve if like John Bates, Ricky Seals-Jones, or Samus Reyes also got hurt. But that's a good sign because sadly for Jay Sternberger, hate to see him go, but that means that Logan Thomas must be well on track to come back from his injury. And it's quite likely that he's going to be ready to play for us as soon as we come back from this bye week against the Buccaneers. Because otherwise, why would you release Jay Sternberger this soon? So it sounds like they're already ready to bring Logan Thomas back so he can start practicing again and all of that type of stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But I think that's positive news because we definitely have been missing Logan Thomas. Like, we really, really need him in that red zone. Our red zone efficiency has plummeted since he's been gone. You can blame some of it on Scott Turner. You can blame a lot of it on Taylor Heineke. But at the end of the day, not having Logan Thomas has hurt us a lot. And if you look at our season and point to where Logan Thomas got hurt and look at our red zone efficiency, you'll definitely see a huge decline around when Logan Thomas got hurt. Now, moving on to the trade deadline and free agency. For us, nothing really happened, like nothing officially happened, but there's something really important that almost happened. The Buffalo Bills and the Washington football team were in talks on a possible trade for quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. Again, nothing ended up happening, and on my end, I'm happy that nothing ended up happening. Maybe he does have a higher ceiling than Taylor Heineke, but I don't care because I want to go big on drafting a quarterback. I want us to get a guy that perfectly fits what Scott Turner wants to do with his offense and his scheme and all of that type of stuff. I want to trust them to do that rather than bringing in a Mitchell Trubisky who probably fits this scheme better than Taylor Heineke does, but at the same time, I think a Trubisky would get in the way of you drafting a quarterback. I feel like if they were to trade for Mitchell Trubisky, whatever it would cost, probably something way above anywhere near what I'd even be kind of willing to give up for him. then that means you probably will not go get your franchise quarterback. First of all, just because it may take the pick that you would get that franchise quarterback with to go get a Mitchell Trubisky. I mean, I've been seeing something about maybe we could have ended up trading a second or a first for him, and I'm like, definitely not. Definitely not that. I definitely prefer to take my chances with a Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Carson Strong, Desmond Ridder, something. And then it ended up not happening because the Buffalo Bills had a set price for Mitchell Trubisky and were not budging. So the Washington football team called and they were trying to do what they could to see if they could try to get him. And the Buffalo Bills were like, this is our price. And the Washington football team was like, we're not going to meet you at that price. And then by the time the trade deadline hit, nothing happened. Thank goodness. Also, the Packers released linebacker Jaylon Smith. Remember, he was just on the Cowboys. We wanted him. We actually looked into getting him too. We called him, but he ended up picking the Packers over us. But I think we had an offer for him, or we at least contacted him and his agent at some point after he got released by the Cowboys. Again, he went to sign with the Packers, and then he didn't look good with the Packers at all. I've seen a couple of low lights from him. It's ugly, but you know what I'm saying? If he's willing to sign for really cheap, like a veteran minimum, let's see what he's got. Maybe he just wasn't a good fit for what the Packers had going, but I saw him miss like some open field tackles, bad in coverage. I mean, it was ugly. I don't know what that was. He looked like a shell of himself, and I'm still confused as to why, because I felt like his decline on the Cowboys was because of an unnecessary position change. But for the Packers, again, I haven't really watched film on him. I just saw some lowlights. I don't know what the root of his problems were for the Packers, but again, it didn't look good. But like I said, if he's going for a veteran minimum, I say why not? And then that's really about it as far as us attempting to make any moves as around the trade deadline. Who knows? Maybe some things were going on that hasn't been reported yet. Maybe we were in on the Deshaun Watson talks, maybe the Tua talks or whoever, but nothing came out of it. The only reports we have is that we really tried to get Mitchell Trubisky, but we were just not willing to give up what the Buffalo Bills were asking for. But this definitely lets you know that this team is looking for a quarterback. I mean, they were willing to give up quite a bit for Matthew Stafford. We were in on the Derek Carr situation for a little bit, and then now the fact that we were trying to get Mitchell Trubisky quite seriously, and then our name has been attached to Tua Tagovailoa over and over again, that has to mean something. So even though I didn't want Mitchell Trubisky, I'm happy about the news just because that means that they clearly feel like we need to address franchise quarterback. Quarterback needs to be addressed first round this draft. No matter what, I don't care where we're picking at. If we have to trade up, whatever you got to do, go identify who your guy is and go get him. It doesn't necessarily have to be the best guy. It's the guy that you feel like you can put in your scheme and fit a scheme around him. Do not bring a quarterback here and make him fit to what Scott Turner has been doing. Scott Turner, you need to adjust around that quarterback that you end up taking and making sure that you hide his weaknesses and make sure he can show off all of his strengths and is in the best opportunities to do so as much as possible. Make sure you go get a guy that's willing to throw the ball downfield. Make sure you get a guy that's mobile, at least relatively. They don't have to be Kyler Murray. They don't have to be Lamar Jackson, but at least some type of being able to pick up more yardage with your legs, like a Taylor Heineke. But we just need more arm strength. We need somebody that can read the field quicker. Don't want to dive into that too long, but you get what I'm saying. I'm just really happy that they are starting to prioritize quarterback. I don't know why they didn't in the draft. Could have easily have gotten Justin Fields with as far as he fell. Wouldn't have taken a lot of draft capital at all to pull the trigger on a Justin Fields to move up and go get him. But hey, the past is the past. I hope they do right by us in the future. And then lastly, a random stat update. Just to let you know, the offense is ranked 18th in the NFL and the defense is ranked 27th. And it's crazy because the defense is actually starting to look a little decent as of late, and the offense is starting to look worse and worse every week. I mean, we can move the ball, but we can't score. We get into the red zone over and over again and nothing comes out of it. But at the same time, because of how terrible our defense was in the beginning, our defense is still ranked lower than our offense is as far as being compared to the rest of the league. But it's without a doubt that our defense is trending in the right direction and our offense is definitely trending in the wrong direction. So don't be surprised if this is flipped within like the next 4 weeks. I don't think our defense is going to finish top 5 because they were just so bad in the beginning. But even if they start playing like a top 5 defense, they'll finish somewhere in the middle, maybe top 12 by the end of the season. We'll see. That's if they start playing like a top 5 defense. But again, they can start playing like a top 5 defense from here on out, starting with the Buccaneers game all the way to the end of the season, and they still wouldn't finish in the top 5 because a lot of these other defenses have been consistent from week 1. We have not. But yeah, man, that's the end of this video. Please get in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Please like this video if you liked it, if you learned anything. Do you want Mitchell Trubisky? Do you not want Mitchell Trubisky? And even if you don't, like me, are you happy about the fact that they tried to get him and that means that they're prioritizing getting the franchise quarterback in the offseason? Also, let me know how you feel about the Chase Roullier injury, how much it's going to hurt us. Also, with the Logan Thomas injury update, how do you feel about him coming back? How much will that help us? And also, are you interested in trying to sign Jaylon Smith to a minimum deal? And also, please like this video if you liked it, if you learned anything. And as always, I appreciate all of the support, man. Shouts out to everybody that donates to the channel. A special shouts out to everybody that supports the channel, all of my sponsors, especially my Pro Bowl sponsors whose name you see scrolling on the screen right now. Man, I really appreciate all y'all. I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.